Okay. Hi. There's my cat's tail for you. She's extra needy right now. Not really sure why. She's kind of always needy. And my hair looks like I did something with it. I really just braided it. Hi, Squishy. My goodness. Oh, I'm not bleeding, I swear. I just have permanent marker from my tracker for 75 day hard. I've tried this before. I've also failed before and I never finished it. So I'm excited to finish this time. Squishy, you're gonna knock over my stand. Okay. My sister likes to comment on the fact that I take on a little bit too much all at the same time. But I would argue that having so many different goals, they're all like in different areas of my life, and I feel like that really helps me live intentionally. It fills my plate with good, positive things. I'm trying not to use filler words, so I'm just noticing them a bit more. So I apologize if I pause when I am speaking. It's because I'm considering how my words are coming out. Squishy, lay down, you're driving me nuts. Anyone want a cat? I'm just kidding. She's a very one-of-a-kind cat. She stole us away with her eyes. Chill. Okay. Cool. So when we got her, I went in wanting an orange cat, and she was like, no, take me home. So we were like, fine. And I'm happy with it. I am gonna do another one of those cards today. I might do a couple just to kind of skim through. But I also don't want to go through them too fast. I want to take my time, if that makes sense. Yeah, of course that makes sense. I don't know what I'm talking about, guys. So I'm starting the 75 day hard today. Day one's going great. I gotta go drink some more water. A gallon of water is a lot of water, you guys. I actually don't know how many ounces it is. I probably should look that up. So, wait, I'm a little confused. I'm also going back to school, most likely in June. All right. I had a new idea for a book today, but I'm not even gonna start it because I need to work on my other book because my revisions came back and I gotta go through and add a few things, which I had mentioned yesterday is kind of hard for me to look at because it's my history, my past, and I have a lot I'm still healing from, mostly in the world of my sexuality, because at the time I just didn't care. I think it's really confusing to understand why I made the choices that I did. And yeah, I've got a little confusion there, but we're not really talking about my sexuality today. We're going to talk about whatever this card says. And we're going to keep healing and growing every single day, at least while I have the time, until I get a grown-up job that I enjoy. I'm only applying to jobs that I would feel happy doing, which I know for sure is not in the world of sales. I've been getting all these interview phone calls. I don't even know why I applied. Well, I do know why, because I was scared about money, but I'm not letting fear rule my life anymore. So I'm going to make this decision with intention. And it's kind of funny because the job I want is as a financial counselor. But I actually know a lot about finances, I think, in comparison to people my age, just because I've worked at a credit union. But I also know I make a lot of poor financial decisions. So I'm excited to see where that interview goes, if I get another one. If not, you know what? I'll let it go. I'll move on. But that is what I'm hoping for right now. All right, today's card. Parental influence. What parts of your parents or guardians do you notice reflected in yourself? Traits, both good and bad, are you inheriting from them? Well, I talked a little bit about my stepdad's impatience. I did notice that today, and I notice it when I'm feeling anxious, when I'm feeling, maybe not anxious. Usually when I'm anxious, I kind of just like shut down. When I'm feeling overwhelmed, I get really impatient. So, like today, Theodore kept playing with the blinds and he's already broken 3 of them. And I scooped him up for the 3rd time to try to redirect him to a different one, and I just noticed myself getting impatient. My voice got a little bit louder than I would like, and I noticed it. I felt a little bit of shame, and I took him into my room, the only room in this apartment, to get him away from the blinds so that I could calm myself down and regulate my own emotions, because maybe that example was not the best emotional regulation example in my life. But that being said, my stepdad is really good at getting stuff done. He's really good. He's the person I go to when I'm like, I've got an idea. How do I go about getting it done? He's the first person I asked if he wanted to help with my app, but he's also busy in his life, so I'm pretty sure that's a no. It's okay. I'm not crying. My voice is just, I don't know. I ate. That's probably it. So good and bad there. Good and bad with my mom. My mom gets a little impatient, a little snappy sometimes, but I almost think there's this, every now and then I'll feel that like shrill part of me coming out. But I almost think the bad trait, I hate to say bad because they all contribute to who we are and how we learn. But what she does is she is the definition of toxic positivity. She very much believes in shutting down those, like, shoving away those deep, dark secrets, those feelings that just make you feel like crap, and going outside and going for a run. And I have taken the healthy habits that she has, like making sure I get exercise and eat well and breathe and meditate. But I've also taken that toxic part where it's like, ignore those feelings rather than acknowledge them, address them, and learn from them. I think she's actually gotten a lot better with that over time, but it is one of those things that I notice coming out. My dad, good and bad. Good with my dad. My dad knows how to chill out, which is kind of funny that my mom and my dad got married, but they, opposites attract. That must have been what attracted them. So he knows how to take a really stressful situation and let it go. And it's not avoidant. I really don't think he's avoiding the pain. I think what he does is he understands that we don't need to ruminate on things that we can't control. And he's taught me that. Bad. Pretty sure he has ADHD. Pretty sure he gave that to me. But I'm also trying to avoid those labels. So the trait that would go with that I think he has so much on his plate sometimes that he just doesn't do it. And honestly, I don't see it all that much because I don't know what he has on his plate. But what I do know is his habits when he comes home is his priority is to relax. And I actually think that's really common with a lot of men. They just want to relax, or people in general, but I read that men tend to be better at prioritizing their own health above like the needs of others, versus women put the needs of others above their own health. And I think that might not be great always, because we don't always understand what we need. And we may not need to relax. We may actually need to get the report done that has been sitting in the back of our mind for a week. And from my stepmom, I would say she's super social, super bubbly, and really good at connecting with people. And she's given that to me. I've been able to connect with her on a different level than all my other parents. And that could just be because she came later on, and we have like a friendship as well as a parent type of relationship. I would probably say a little more so a friendship, but I still see her as a mom. But I appreciate that connection because in my darkest times, I felt comfortable going to her. She was actually the first person I went to the first time I attempted suicide. And a bad trait. I think that connection actually can also be a bad trait because she considers other people so much that she doesn't realize how their behaviors impact her behaviors. For example, her parents are older, from a different generation, and they talk a lot. I don't know about daily, but I know they probably talk on a weekly basis, which is amazing to have that connection with your parents. I don't talk to all my parents on a weekly basis, but her parents are very close-minded when it comes to how people's choices when it comes to other people. They're pretty quick to judge what other people are choosing for their own lives. And I think sometimes that bleeds into her life and she becomes a little quick to judge. Not nearly as much, but I think that also comes to me. The other day I was saying it's frustrating having all these people around me that don't want to grow when that's all I want to do. I just want to become a better person. I spent so long just ignoring the news, ignoring life, ignoring everything except what I wanted to do. And then when I figured out that that wasn't bringing me any fulfillment, I wanted to grow. And then after, a couple months of trying to grow mentally and physically, after my second major depression episode, I became quick to judge. And that includes all of my parents. I was so quick to say, wow, they raised me wrong. This is all their fault. But it's not. We learn a lot from our parents, but it's not all their fault. We choose our life choices. I chose to sneak out at night. I chose to ditch school. I chose a lot of decisions that really negatively impacted my life. I chose to drink way too young and a lot. I chose to get tattoos before I was the legal age. And I'm not living in any regret of those decisions, but I think it's important to acknowledge that we have influence from our parents, but they do not decide our life. All right, traits. Ooh, I like this. Oh, I don't like this. Okay. What traits do you dislike most about yourself? My insecurity tends to rule like most of my life decisions. I have let my fear keep me from I think the biggest thing it kept me from was I was afraid of being alone after I first met Zach. And I had a plan. I had gotten my passport. I wanted to go to Thailand and teach English. That's the biggest decision that I regret faltering on. I was so insecure that if I left, he wouldn't love me anymore. Our relationship would fail. And I just loved him so much. I wasn't ready to let that go. So I would say my insecurities. I feel like traits is like qualities. Like, what do I do? I'm really impulsive, and it can be a good thing. Like, I was listening to Jay Shetty again, always, and he was talking about type 1. Honestly, I don't even know anymore if it was Jay or Mel. They were talking about type 1 decisions being the big, heavy decisions, like quitting a job, or type 2 decisions that are like the ones that, you know, we can go back on, like relationships was the example used. Oh, sorry. And, oh gosh, I don't know what I was saying. Oh, my impulsiveness. And I have always been impulsive, especially in my relationships. Yeah, I'll just leave it at that. Insecurities and impulsiveness. I'm not really sure. I don't know, I always thought I had an RBF. If people looked at me across the room and I'm just like doing my work, I thought it was my eyebrows. I've actually tweezed them in a way so they look like I'm asking questions instead of they're very straight. Okay, let's do one more. 3 a day sounds good. Inner child. In your childhood, what did you not receive, and how has this impacted you? Well, the first one that comes to mind, because I was just talking to Zach about it, is all my friends were going on this expensive trip to Washington, D.C., and I lived in Arizona at the time, and it was like a couple grand, and my parents didn't let me go. I didn't have the money to be able to go, and I took that to heart. I took that like I didn't get to do what all the important, like, cool kids got to do. I didn't get to have that same experience. And I don't know, they gave me so many different experiences that I'm not really stuck on that anymore, but for a while I was. Well, and they're moving a lot. I feel like I didn't receive. Once I turned 14, I didn't have a home to go to. That's how I felt. I mean, I had homes. They bought houses. They rented houses, apartments. things like that. But I didn't have the home, you know? Once we left our Phoenix home, it just felt like, I don't know, felt like I didn't have my safe haven. I don't even know if I felt like my Phoenix home was a safe haven because I shared a room with my sister, although me and her have always been pretty close. But I would say when it comes to experiences, I didn't receive certain experiences that I carried with me for so long, but I also feel like that impacted me more positively than negatively. I was able to go out and make a lot more friends, I think, because of it, because I didn't want to be home. I don't know if I hear myself. I think we're okay. I'm gonna keep going because we're almost done. I also think getting to move so many times and go to 5 different high schools, I hated it when it happened. I don't even know if I'd say I hated it. I was actually excited to leave my first high school, and then after that it just felt normal because the second one was temporary. The third one I liked the most, but then the fourth one is where I met friends that really valued me for me. Oh no, the fourth one was the one I liked the most. The third one I kind of forgot about because I only went there for a couple months. So, you know, that being said, I feel like, oh, yep, I hear him. All right, that's the end of today. Peace out.